Well, sticking to that theme, Shane, Big 12 coming to the SEC. Latest rumor on the LSU coaching search is old Lincoln Riley, the Oklahoma coach. That has been kind of percolating for a little while. I'm honest. So, there's rumors that the LSU crew came down there and visited them. I don't know if you can really get away with coming to Norman. I'm sure somebody would have spotted something, but apparently Lincoln was, they just lost the game to Baylor. Maybe there's some distractions. He canceled or missed some press availability that he's never missed before. And then here this week, he was asked about the rumors, the LSU speculation. Let's kick it over to Lincoln Riley. Gave kind of a no answer here.
Your first question. Lincoln, a lot of speculation in recent days connecting you with the LSU job or talk around that. Have you or any of your representatives had contact with them, and just what's that like to handle that in the middle of the season?
It's nothing to handle, I mean, it's pretty easy. I coach the University of Oklahoma football team, and you guys know me. You know how I feel about this place and this program. So we've all been down this road many times before. You guys know where I stand on that, and that hadn't changed.
All right, Shane, so we've been down this road. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean yes? Does that mean no? I don't know. But, let's give a little bit more, we're not just trying to pass along message board rumors, because ESPN analyst Tom Luganbill, he has been on several radio shows this week and asked about this, and he thinks that Lincoln Riley is leaving Oklahoma for LSU. Now, he's not reporting that per se, but he just, I don't know, you have to seek that interview out if you're really interested. But basically, his point being is he thinks there's something going on behind the scenes, Shane. And I think at the end of the day, it would make sense, because while Lincoln Riley, I believe they've won 6 Big 12 titles in a row. They've been to, I think, 3 college football playoffs in a row. They've got that thing rolling. But you bring Oklahoma into the SEC, Shane, you can't win a national championship at Oklahoma currently. Is it realistic that you're going to be able to beat Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Texas A&M? You may be able to compete with those teams, every couple of years, but I just don't know if Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma, they've got the roster right now to win in the SEC at an elite level, at a level those fans expect. Whereas I think if you jump to LSU, you're getting a better roster. You're getting a better recruiting landscape. You're getting, you're the only show in town in a state that I believe per capita produces more NFL players than anybody in the country. So I don't know, Shane. What do you think about that? LSU a better job than Oklahoma? I say yes.
Oh, Mike, I think that's a loaded question, man. It's one of those that you think about it, okay? Let's say we move these guys over. We move Texas in. We move Oklahoma in. It's like you said, they're the big dogs right now in their conference, but when they come over here, they're not. Right. There's a lot of big dogs sitting over here, maybe even bigger if you ask me. Like you said, you mentioned Alabama. You look at Georgia, the talent. It's just the pure talent. I mean, look at the roster that Oklahoma has now. Most of that talent came from the South, So, yeah, I think that's the key is, and I don't like to speculate because I also heard, Heupel's leaving Tennessee for Oklahoma, and I'm like, what the hell? Did they fire him up there? No, they still got Lincoln. And Oklahoma has a ton of money. Oklahoma has a presence that they are a blue chip team, man. I don't think they're going to struggle as much as some folks think they will when they come in the SEC, because they have established themselves as a good football team. I just think, when you look at that precious record that he's carrying up there, you're not going to be able to do that in the SEC. You're going to have spectacular teams. So right now you got a good roster. What does it look like 4 or 5 years from now? If I'm a guy that's recruiting, even, man, just think about when we're kids and we're playing NCAA, man. Where did you go? You went to a Texas team. You went to a Florida team. You went to a Georgia team. You went to a Louisiana team, somewhere where the talent is, because you're always going to – if you can protect your borders, you're going to have a good roster down there at LSU. You're not in Oklahoma, Mike. So I'm with you. I'm going where the talent is. Now, I don't. For years past, they've been able to get the talent in Oklahoma. I think it changes a little bit when you get on over here to the SEC, Mike.
Yeah, and maybe I should clarify, because I'm not sitting here trying to sound like a fool and say Oklahoma's like some G5 program and they can never compete. But I just think when they get into the SEC, just imagine their schedule. Let's say they play A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. I mean, I just don't think their lines of scrimmage are going to hold up right away. Now, I think they could probably get there in 2 or 3 years, the way they're playing and the way they recruit and the prestige of that program. But I think at LSU, you got that right now. Even though they're struggling, the talent is there. And I think that's how these coaches got to look at it, man, because even a place like, hell, we're seeing it with Sarkisian. You have one down year. Not saying they'd run Lincoln Riley off, but you have 2 bad years, 3 bad years in the SEC. They will run your ass off. Whereas
Coach O, he just won a national championship.
Right. If you go to LSU and maybe it takes you a year to get off the ground, but by year 2, I think you can have an elite squad. And given the talent they have, hell, maybe you can do it right away. We're seeing Josh Heupel turned it right around. Sam Pittman turned his program right around. Lane Kiffin turned his program right around. It can be done if you got the talent. And I think that's what makes LSU such an attractive job for all these coaches.
That's why they're storied programs, Mike. That's why Georgia and Florida and LSU and all these teams, they stay at the top. It's not because they've had great coaches, which they have. They've had some really great coaches come through there. But it comes with the talent. And man, there's so much. The Southeast is just loaded with players in the NFL, blue chip talent, and that's never going to change, Mike. I don't see it changing anytime soon. And so if you can and you have an opportunity to coach at one of those programs, you're nuts if you don't do it, because you pretty much you control your own destiny when you're down at programs like that. You got to get the right coaches. You got to get the right players in there, because you could see, man, you get the wrong staff. Coach O, and I think he's a prime example. You got a good staff. A lot of them got poached and went to the NFL, and then you have a bad staff, and look, everybody starts pointing fingers at you and saying you're a bad coach. So I think there's a lot of factors, but Lincoln Riley, one of the things he's got is the ability to recruit coaching. I think that's key for him too. So wherever he goes, he's going to be successful. And if he stays in Oklahoma, I still think he's going to be successful. I just think he I don't know. I mean, it's a dream list. I think LSU would love to have him, but Oklahoma, man, they got some deep pockets, and they're going to do everything they can to keep him.
Well,